Welcome. Through an unprecedented use of time transcendence, I'm here today interviewing Karl Heimrich Ulrichs, who died in 1895. Through the use of an enhanced Skyping device that brings an audio and video image across centuries, we are able to bring you this unique individual. So first of all, welcome. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Thank you, Jane. Yes, I was born in the town of Aurich in Friesland, which was then part of the Kingdom of Hanover in the northwestern part of what is now Germany, on August 28th, 1825. I graduated in law and theology from the Graf Anton Gustav Universität in Göttingen in 1846. And in the years 1846 to 1848, I studied at the university in Berlin. And I wrote my dissertation in history on the Peace of Westphalia, which I wrote in Latin. And the Peace of Westphalia was a series of peace treaties that ended the Wars of Reformation, or also known as the 30 Years' War from 1618 to 1648. And if I remember correctly, they were written in Osnabrück and Münster.
And can you tell us a little bit about when you got your first inklings that you might be a homosexual?
Well, when I was a young boy, I already left wearing girls' clothing, and I preferred to play with girls. In fact, I wanted to be a girl. My first homosexual experience, however, was not until I was 14 years old in 1839, which came with my writing instructor.
I see. And when was your first experience being discriminated against because you were a homosexual?
Oh, that happened in Hildesheim. I was from 1849 to 1857. I worked as an official legal advisor for the district court of Hildesheim in the Kingdom of Hanover. But I was fired when my homosexuality became open knowledge.
What happened in 1867?
On August 29th, 1867 was a very important day for me. On that day, I became the first self-proclaimed homosexual in modern history to speak out publicly for homosexual rights. It was at the Congress of German Jurists in Munich, and I was there urging the repeal of anti-homosexual laws. They shouted me down, but that did not stop me.
Wow, that must have been a big day in your life. What happened after that?
I did much in the way of writing, and I created the terms people in your day know as homosexuality, sexual identity, sexual orientation, and a word that unfortunately never caught on, yearning, which comes from Plato's Symposium and can be interpreted as men who desire men. I went on to write many pamphlets and books on the subject of homosexuality.
And how were your books received?
Well, in the 1860s, I moved around the country writing and publishing. And I was always getting into trouble with the law. But the funny thing was, they punished me for my words. They never punished me for my sexual orientation. In 1864, my books were all confiscated and banned by the police in Saxony, and then in Berlin. And finally, they were banned throughout the Prussian Empire.
And aside from your political activities, what are you most proud of?
Most proud? In 1879, my 12th and final book of research on the riddle of man-manly love was published. I felt that I had done all I could for my beloved country and went into self-imposed exile in Italy. I settled in L'Aquila, where I continue to write and publish in German and in Latin. I died in 1895 in L'Aquila, and on my gravestone it is written in Latin, exile and pauper.
Looking back on your life, what do you want people to remember about you?
Toward the end of my life, I wrote something that I think sums it all up. Until my dying day, I will look back with pride that I found the courage to come face to face in battle against the specter which for time immemorial it's still emotional to me, has been injecting poison into me and into men of my nature. Many have been driven to suicide because all their happiness in life was tainted. Indeed, I am proud that I found the courage to deal the initial blow to the hydra of public contempt.
Gee, that's quite a statement. Given how difficult your life was, what is your feeling about your heritage?
I am a deeply proud Hanoverian. In fact, in 1866, I was imprisoned for opposing Prussian rule when Prussia annexed Hanover.
Even though you might have been forgotten for a time, you've become kind of a cult hero lately. In Europe, there are streets named after you. In fact, in Munich and in Bremen and in Hanover. There's a lively street party and a poetry reading at the Karl Heimrich Ulrichs Plaza in Munich on your birthday each year. Magnus Hirschfeld heralded you in his book, The Homosexuality of Men and Women, in 1914, and the International Lesbian and Gay Law Association presents a Karl Heimrich Ulrichs Award in your memory every year. What do you make of all this posthumous notoriety?
I am glad that there are parties on my birthday each year in Munich. I only wish I could be there with all of you to enjoy them.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you with us today.
It's been a pleasure, Jane. Thank you.